and welcome to our channel, Goshen Health and Wellness, and we are excited to get our channel up and going and running. We're very excited about the topics that we'll be discussing here. We want to focus on, well, first let's introduce ourselves. I'm Renee Manasco.
And I'm Dr. Brian Manasco.
And we also have grandchildren that call us Nene and
Doc Doc.
And Doc Doc. So we may refer us to Nene or Doc on occasion, so that's who we are too. And we are going to be discussing all different types of things, but mainly we're going to be discussing about health and wellness. Doc has been a chiropractor for almost 30 years. We are located in a very rural area of Alabama, and this is my hometown. We have been married almost 38 years. Mm-hmm. And we've been in practice, like I said, he's been in practice almost 30 years. We have 2 children that are adults now, and they are both married and have grandchildren, which we adore. So we have a son that lives next door to us, and he has his own business. And then we have a daughter that lives in Tennessee, and she is a principal and teacher up there of a Christian school, the Lift Academy. And so we just have a full life. We have a granddaughter that's about to be 5. We have a grandson that's about to be 4.
And we've got in the backyard back here a bunch of goats, chickens, ducks, and a dog with some cats. So we've got
lots of cats.
we got a handful going on.
I live on a homestead. It actually belongs to our son and his wife, but we help take care of some of the, well, he helps take care of some of the animals when they're not around or something like that.
Baby goats, feeding baby goats.
So we would love to know in the comments, what you're interested in as far as health and wellness goes, or recipes. We will be taking a topic each month and discussing that topic and how that relates to our health and wellness. Like the month of April, we're going to be discussing our immune system, because how many knows everything outside is covered in
everything
yellow.
Is yellow, and it's covering everything, but it's also getting in your lungs. So
yeah, lots of pollen in our area. We have a high pollen count here in Alabama. I don't know about where you live, but we have a high pollen count. I think it's the pine trees.
It's the pine trees that's dropping all the pollen.
So a lot of people right now have trouble with their immune system. They have trouble breathing or congestion, sinus issues, headaches, watery eyes, stuffy nose, all the things that come when your immune system is compromised. So we'll be talking about that in our next video.
Yeah.
And
it's the time of year where everybody heads to the doctor to try to alleviate some of those symptoms, especially in relation to your immune system, and the coughing, the sneezing, the itchy, watery eyes. And we're going to talk about an alternative to the natural, the way the medical field treats it. We're going to provide an alternative.
So for the past, I don't know, maybe 25 years, we have really gotten into herbal supplements, things that we could do alternatively. For us personally, we look at natural first. If we get sick or our health gets compromised, we look at how can we treat ourselves, or how can we boost our immune system? How can we boost things that God has given us naturally?
Yeah, He's given us everything we need. We just have to have the knowledge and the education to know what it is.
Right. We're not anti-medicine. We're not anti-doctors, but we just know that the Lord gave us things that can help our bodies naturally before we turn to medication. So for us to go to the doctor, it's a last resort, not the first answer, typically. Now, if we're out here and he loves to work with a chainsaw, and thank goodness he's never been hit bad a little bit one time.
Yeah, I got a nick one time, but that's about it.
But, something like that, or you're in a car accident, you definitely got to get to the doctor right away. I mean, you've got to get to the emergency room and get some help. But then when you get out of the hospital, see what you can do to boost that immune system. What can you do to improve your health naturally?
Yeah, we want to open up doors to maybe an alternative method as far as treating things that maybe is less harsh on the body. So we want to kind of educate you on the different types of herbs and things that's out there, that's growing in this season even, that you can even find in your backyard if you've got enough yard or woods. You have to go look for it, but There's plants. There's a plant for everything. What we've tried to do is assemble plants into a form that you can readily make teas out of.
Yes. So we started a company last year called Goshen Herbals. And we have a website with all of our teas. We're going to be talking a little bit later on about specific tea blends and why we need those, why we like to supplement with those. Like I said, in April, we're going to be discussing our immune system.
Yes.
So we're about to do a video shortly and post it about our immune system. Tea blend that really helps boost that immune system naturally. We just believe that God gave us everything that we have need of to heal the body. He created our body, and that's another thing you're probably going to hear about on our channel is our faith and our family. Those are two things that are near and dear to our heart. We love things about health and wellness, but first and foremost, we love the Lord, and we have been following Him a long time. And so we want to honor Him in everything we do. So we will be diving into faith and family sometimes on our videos. It's not going to be just health, but I mean, health and wellness incorporates everything, right? The mind, the body, the spirit.
And a lot of times, if you look in the Bible and you'll read, you'll find that He lays out how we can be well. So we want to get into some of those things as well.
Yeah, we definitely have scripture. Doc really felt led to start Goshen Herbals, and I'll let him share that testimony and how the Lord led him to start that company last year, and there is scripture for it.
Yeah.
So I'll let you do that.
Oh, okay. It was about a year and a half ago. The Lord laid something in my heart in a vision that he said this in the Spirit. He said, I want you to step into the future of my church and save their life before they ever need saving. Now that's a big statement. I didn't understand what that meant. And as I had prayed into it and just kind of sat and meditated on the word that He had given me, it came to me in my spirit that He said, you have the knowledge already. You just need to implement it. And when He said that, I knew what He was talking about. I knew about herbs. We've been using herbs and supplements for years, but I had to do a little digging to get a little more education on how to blend things properly, so that people could consume them in an easy form, because it's hard sometimes just to go out in the woods and try to find a plant.
Yes,
it's hard, and a lot of times, if you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know how much to take, what to take, it can be hard to formulate what you need. But what I've tried to do is put these herbal things in a form that you can readily absorb them, that they're organic, and you don't have to think a lot about it. So what we've done is take different types of conditions, and we formulated herbal formulations to meet those conditions. So like the next thing we're going to talk about is the immune system, but we formulated teas for sugar balance, for people who are diabetics, for liver cleanses, brain teas for people who have dementia, Alzheimer's, things like that. So we've got something for everything.
Right now we have about 6 teas on our website that is available for purchase at Goshen Herbals, HERBALS.com.
Yeah.
If you want to go there and check those out, we also have an elderberry kit. I'll be in the kitchen a little bit later showing you how we make our elderberry syrup, and those are on our website also. But you were sharing with me, Brian, a couple of verses that the Lord gave you when you established Goshen Herbals. Do you have those scriptures?
I don't have them right here on hand.
You sent those to me the other day, but there is...
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which ones they were. One was in Genesis.
Well, Genesis 1:29 tells us that He gave us everything.
He gave us everything we need.
Herbs and seeds and everything that we love, and that is healthy for our body. See, He created our body. He knows what we need to be as healthy as we can be. A lot of people take that scripture, though, and try to make it be that we need to be vegetarian or vegans.
Yeah.
But later on, he gave us dominion over the animals.
Yeah.
Correctly?
Mm-hmm.
And
there is a place in the Bible, I would have to go look it up and bring it to you on another video, but if you look at how they treated plants and things in the Bible, they used them as medicines. And even in one of the passages where Jesus was at the Last Supper, in one of the passages it states, and they ate bitter herbs. And the herbs had a purpose. And in one of the upcoming videos, I may describe what that purpose was. But they didn't necessarily use some of these plants as food like we do today. They used them as medicines to provide the body what they needed in that season to keep them well or prevent them from getting sick.
well, I do know that bitter herbs was one of the things that they ate before they left Egypt.
Yeah,
before the children of Israel left Egypt, they were headed to the Promised Land, and we're getting ready to celebrate Passover.
Yeah, and the Passover, it has a meaning, especially with the bitter herbs, as far as the children of Israel crossing over into a Promised Land.
It said that every one of them left, and nobody was sick or
Yes.
feeble. So there was not a feeble one among them. So when they left, and they had been in bondage for 400 years, every one of them left out of there healthy. And as we age, Brian and I just turned 60 this year. That still blows my mind that we hit the
I
big
don't
60.
feel 60.
Well, you might not feel it, but it's just,
We got a few wrinkles.
It is an age, and as we grow older, we want to do it as healthy as we can.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be around a long time for our grandchildren. We want to be, but not just be around, be active, be to where we can be active and in their life, and not just sitting on the sofa or laying in the bed because we're just sick or don't feel
We
good.
want to change the mindset where we're not treating conditions, but we're preventing them.
And I know that sometimes things happen in people's lives that is beyond their control. They can't, they may have an accident. There might be a health condition that they're fighting and could
Food
not overcome.
poisoning.
Well, it could be, but I was thinking more of I have a friend of mine that was in a 4-wheeler accident.
Yeah.
She's paralyzed. And that's beyond her control. And so we're not talking about those kind of things. We trust the Lord to help take care of us as we age. But I'm talking about the things that we can control. Those are the things that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What we put in our body. We live in a very blessed nation. And most of us can control what we consume in our body.
There's a saying, you are what you eat.
Yeah. And you are what you think.
Yeah. It's out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak, and as a man believeth in his heart, so is he.
Yeah. So what we think, what we eat, and you could eat on words. I know that sounds really weird, but what you read, what you listen to, who you let speak into your life is just as important.
Death and life in the power of the tongue.
Yeah. And you could exercise 24/7. You could eat all the right things. And this body is made, my granddaughter told me the other day, she's about to be 5. She said, Nene, we're made of dirt. And I said, yes, we are. So we know that we live in a sinful world. We live in a fallen world.
It's
so
this.
I
This
guess
is
where I was going with that is things can happen to the body that we might not plan for.
It's not a matter of how long I'm going to live. It is, can I die feeling good? Can I die healthy?
I guess quality of life.
Quality of life
over quantity. Because I know people that have only lived 50 years, but man, they lived a full life.
Mm-hmm.
They were very, very much life-giving to others.
Yeah.
So anyway, our channel is about that. We want to incorporate health and wellness. That's going to include recipes, being in the kitchen. It's going to include our faith and family. And it's going to include Goshen Herbals, wellness teas, and different things that we expand on that line. One of the things that we do in our clinic, he is a chiropractor. He
28 years.
28 years this year. He does still see chiropractic patients, but more than that, he also helps people with their health, doing what we call a health assessment.
Yeah.
On nutrition level. And that's where he can do things like a kinesiology type muscle testing to determine exactly what does that patient need for supplements.
And some patients need, they need lab work. Yes, we can get lab work if it's needed. But what we're trying to assess is deficiencies within the body, because most of the time you're not sick because of what you have. You're sick because of what you're missing. And there is exceptions to that rule, but generally speaking, most of us don't function well because of what we're missing. And the herbs and all that we put together help the body get back into that proper functioning state.
So this is a thing, you might need vitamin B, but what kind?
Yeah.
There's all types of vitamin B. For me personally, I take a methylated B12 every day, and it's because I have a genetic code called the MTHFR. We're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But because of that, the way my body methylates things, I need that methylated B12. So how are you going to know that? That's one of the things that
we can
do
help you determine what
office.
your need is and how to go about fixing it.
So we will be discussing health that way. We will be discussing wellness that way. We're going to get into diet a little bit, but this is not going to be a channel specifically for weight loss.
No.
It's really going to be about, we may cover some topics on weight loss.
Yeah, most of the time, if you will address your health, you will lose weight. A lot of times we address weight, but we don't get healthy.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference.
So he always said to me, and it always made me mad, well, what do you want to do, be healthy or lose weight? And I said, well, I want to do both. And so figuring out how to do that has been a challenge. And I still don't know that I have all the answers. But we typically, personally, believe in a lower carb lifestyle, whether that be low carb, keto, ketovore, carnivore.
Yeah.
We're very meat based. And that's where I was going back with that Genesis 1:29 verse. A lot of people want to say that we should only eat vegetables, but somewhere along the way, I guess the New Testament brought in.
Well, they ate meat in the Bible. They ate lamb.
Pork.
Yeah, they didn't eat pork. They had probably better choices in meat than what we have. But, when you look at meat in and of itself, the human body is made to process meat efficiently. We just have to know how our body reacts to the different types of meat that we eat. But yet, the meat in itself carries pretty much every nutrient that the human body needs for consumption. And even our teeth dictate that we are carnivore type individuals. There is nothing wrong with eating vegetables. But you've got to know why you're eating what you're eating and what you're eating it for. Because even vegetables, they only grow in certain seasons. So you're not really supposed to be eating vegetables, certain types of vegetables, all year long. You're supposed to be eating them in the season that they grow because they provide the nutrient that you need in that season, whether it be hot, cool, pollens, whatever's in the air. It is actually a medicine that helps you in that season.
So one of the things that, I don't know if they've robbed our hives yet or not.
We got bees, yeah.
Yeah, we have honeybees.
It'd be in the probably April, May.
But which is amazing, because that is when we need that honey to help with allergies.
Yeah, because it's got pollens in it.
Yeah, it's got the pollens in it. And they say that if you eat local honey to your region, it will help you with your allergies if you have allergies to the different pollens and trees.
It decreases your histamine reaction when you build up an immunity to the pollens that's local.
So we have honey hives. We have not honey hives. Beehives.
Beehives. They actually belong to a friend of ours who's a pastor, but he has them on our property and we get honey off of them.
Yeah, so we get local honey to sell in our clinic,
Because I really don't want to have to get stung.
Yeah.
Or deal with the bees myself.
So anyway, that is what our channel is going to be about. And we hope that you will subscribe and give us a thumbs up and join us.
Like us, do something.
And let your friends know that we're on here. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments.
You can leave an email at Goshen Herbals at yahoo.com.
Yeah.
Or go to our website and
And
you can message us through
we'll
that.
put a link on that down in the description somehow when I figure out how to do that. We're just getting started, guys.
Yep.
So we just welcome you here and we thank you for joining us today.
And according to our grandkids, I'm Doc Doc.
And I'm Nene.
And she's Nene. We'll see you on the next video.